Hi everyone, I am Blair Hardiek, Global Director of the NBA Academy Women's Program, and I'm so excited to be here with you all today on National Girls and Women in Sports Day. So thank you for joining in on this celebration. This is an annual day of observance to acknowledge the accomplishments of female athletes, recognize the influence of sports participation for women and girls, and honor the progress and continuing struggle for equality in sports. This day features community-based events, such as today's WNBA panel, and clinic brought to you by the Golden State Warriors and Nike. So thank you, Nike. Thank you, Golden State Warriors. This is the very first time. It is the first, but it will not be the last. We're excited to familiarize Bay Area girls and females across the nation with WNBA stars. So my first introduction is Jewell Loyd. Jewell, AKA the Gold Mamba, born in Lincolnwood, Illinois. She starred at Notre Dame. She was named ESPN's Women's Basketball Player of the Year as the team advanced to NCAA championship for the second year in a row. Named the 2015 ACC Player of the Year and drafted #1 overall to the Seattle Storm in 2015. Jewell was also named the 2015 WNBA Rookie of the Year. She has played professional basketball all over the world: Turkey, China, South Korea, and Spain. She is a 2-time WNBA champion. She is a 2-time WNBA All-Star, a 3-time USA gold medalist. Wow. Let's clap it up for Jewell Loyd if you're out there. Next up, Natasha Cloud. Born in Pennsylvania, but Philly roots, like I've heard. She played at the University of Maryland and St. Joseph's University as well. She is ranked 2nd nationally among active players in assists per game. Did you know that? Pretty amazing. Natasha was drafted number 15 overall by the Washington Mystics in 2015 and won a WNBA championship with the Mystics in 2019. She made the courageous decision to forego the 2020 WNBA season to dedicate herself fully to social justice reform. So thank you. Natasha is the first woman to sign with Converse. She was named to the 2020 Forbes Under 30 list. That is amazing. And it's almost her birthday. So let's give a celebratory gift of applause to Natasha Cloud.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Kelsey Plum, come on in. Kelsey Plum won a state championship, La Jolla Country Day in San Diego, where I actually saw you play many times. Kelsey is a lefty that played at the University of Washington. She won the John R. Wooden Award, Nancy Lieberman Award, and Naismith College Player of the Year Award. Kelsey is the first Pac-12 player to reach not 1,000, not 2,000, but 3,000 points. And at the time of her graduation, she was the NCAA's leading scorer. Kelsey holds Washington career records in pretty much almost everything, but scoring average, points, made field goals, made 3-pointers, made free throws, and free throw percentage. So great job. She was drafted by San Antonio, which we all know now is Las Vegas, in the first round, #1 overall in the 2017 WNBA draft, and was named to the All-Rookie team. In 2017, Kelsey was named Finals MVP with her pro team in Turkey, and she helped the U.S. to a gold medal at the 2018 FIBA World Cup. Let's give a round of applause for Kelsey Plum. That's making my mouth dry already. I need some water here. Next up, A'ja Wilson. A'ja, born in Hopkins, South Carolina, played for the University of South Carolina, where she led the Gamecocks to their first ever NCAA title. I didn't realize it was the first, so congratulations, that's big time. A'ja finished her career ranked 1st in points, blocked shots, and made free throws. She is a 3-time SEC Player of the Year and unanimously named National Player of the Year. A'ja earned the John R. Wooden Award. You guys have something in common, Kelsey. Naismith Award and Wade Trophy. She was then drafted 1st overall by the Las Vegas Aces in 2018. She is a 2018 FIBA gold medalist with USAB, where she is, guess what? You guys aren't going to believe this, 47-0 record-wise. That is crazy to even think of, 47-0. A'ja is the 2020 WNBA MVP and is a 2-time WNBA All-Star. And check this out, guys. Icing on the cake. As part of the University of South Carolina's observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You've heard this a million times in the last weeks, but a statue of A'ja was placed at the main entrance of Colonial Life Arena. Man, you guys have a long list. I hope I did you justice, and beyond excited to see your faces here today. It's a day that needs to be celebrated, not just today, but every day. And while getting to know you guys a little bit through your bios and doing research, we couldn't have a better group of the four of you here today. So thanks for your efforts in the world. Thanks for your efforts for the game. And thanks for your efforts in a day that's celebrated not just nationally as it is, but worldwide. So thank you for being here. Now we're going to dive into some questions. And just so you all know, we'll have 3 topics. Jewell has not seen my questions yet, so I'm really excited to see her off the cuff answers. But the first topic is Wnba Journey. The second will be confidence in finding your voice. And the third is charting a new path for the next generation. So starting with you, Kelsey, our audience, we have a lot of middle school and high school people here today. So as a student athlete for you at La Jolla Country Day, where you won a championship, you were highly, highly, highly recruited. So a dream of the viewers, many of them, is to play D1 basketball. So in your own words, what does it take to be a D1 basketball player, and what are some tips for the people in the audience today?
I actually tell people this and they're kind of like, really? That's interesting. When I first got to high school, I was like definitely not one of the best players, and I came off the bench and I really like scrapped for playing time. And so I try to tell people that a lot of times it's not instantaneous, you kind of have to work your way up. So I encourage anyone starting out playing basketball, especially if it doesn't feel like it's supernatural to you, that's okay. Like, I don't want to speak for anyone else in this panel, but for me, like, that's something I've really had to work at. So I think that should give you a lot of confidence, knowing that, you got to continue to put in the work and keep going at it and keep going back at it, even though you might fail, just fail forward. And that actually really, kind of drove me to want to earn a scholarship and play in college.
I love it. And I had a feeling you would say work ethic. So that's a good segue into Natasha. This one's for you. It's often said that defense wins championships. And in college, you were the A10 Defensive Player of the Year, WNBA, All Defensive Team. Why do you take so much pride in your defense? And growing up, or even now, are there any players that you look to as your favorite defensive player besides yourself?
For me, I had to really work at my game, and it's a continuous work. Even now at 28 years old and 6 years in the league, I'm still working to hone into my craft every day. But for me, defense is all about pride and heart. And, once you get further into your career, it's about scouting reports and understanding the game, understanding player tendencies. And so I've always been someone that's been a defensive player when I really needed to work on my offense. So again, for me, defense is all about pride and heart and just understanding the game. And some nights your offense isn't going to be there. Like for us in the Mystics, it's always we need to start on the defensive end first, because our defense will always bring our offense. And that's what wins championships. And so I'm always going to be a defensive-minded player first.
I think that's great, too, for young people to hear that you don't have to be the best ball handler, shooter, passer, that defense is something that's literally it's ticker. And I love that about you. So thank you for sharing.
I forgot your second part of the question. Sorry, I'm already tripping. Elena Beard was my favorite defensive player. And when I got into the league, I had a rude awakening as a point guard being guarded by her. So don't watch the film from 2015. You'll see my turnovers. Okay, cool, bye.
Welcome to the league, Natasha Cloud. I love it. So, Asia, you were ranked the #1 player in the class of 2014, according to ESPN. And how did you approach the recruiting process? And, not everyone is highly recruited like you were. So could you give some tips to people that are actually struggling to get recruited by whether it's Division I, Division II, JUCO? What are some tips for those people out there?
For me, I'm just like, everyone's going to have a different journey. All of our paths weren't the same, but we got where we wanted. And my biggest thing is just goal setting. And ask a lot of questions. When you go on visits, wherever you may go, they're going to roll out the red carpet for you. It's going to look like it's the best. I wanted to sign 4 national letters of intent because I'm like, I want to go everywhere. But, of course, that's not possible. But, you just ask questions and know that you're the one that's in control of your journey. Like no one else is. Of course, I look to my parents a lot, but at the end of the day, I was going to that school for 4 years, not them. So I just really had to take a look at myself and know what I wanted to get out of my college experience on all cylinders, not just on the court, but off the court as well. And it's tough, of course. You're so young. I was 16 years old trying to make a decision for 4 years of my life. I'm like, what am I doing? I can barely figure out what I want to eat. So it was tough, but at the end of the day, I just kind of helped myself with just goal setting. I wanted to realize what I wanted to do in college and go from there. And South Carolina just happens to be in my backyard, and I loved every minute of it.
And especially during a virtual time, I think so many times players think that coaches are going to come to them. They're going to be emailing, calling, messaging, whatever. But how important to you do you think it is that players actually be in charge of their own recruiting process and have film reach out to schools if they're not highly recruited?
I think it's very important because it kind of shows that you're in control. For me, I was, like you said, never a recruit, and I waited till like the last day of the spring recruitment just to sign my letter because I wanted to make sure that I was making a decision that was for me. And sometimes you got to take a step out of your comfort zone and kind of demand and know that you know your worth, and then times like tax that. Because like you're in control of everything. And I think it kind of gets lost in, oh, I want to go to this school and they're not looking in, they're not interested in me. But, go after it and choose a place that you love deep down in your heart. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be your decision.
And so what you're saying is you made Dawn Staley really sweat down to the
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She still has the video where I was calling her and she was just like in a panic. She's North Philly, but she got a little soft spot in it.
I love it. So, Jewell, you are no stranger to playing in championship games. What do you think it takes to perform under pressure? And if you have any, please tell us some pregame rituals that you have.
I think it starts with your preparation. Everything that you do beyond just showing up for practice, that's kind of where you gain your confidence and you can start to visualize yourself hitting big shots and being in big games. It's just how you prepare. So if that's watching extra film or if that's running extra sprints or getting extra shots up, it's different for every athlete, but I think it's just the preparation before the game. It's knowing that you're capable of being in those situations is super important, and that's just how you prepare. For me, going into games, it's a lot of visualization and sitting down and meditating, telling myself that I've been in these situations before. I know what it feels like to make a shot. I know what it's like to miss. I know what it's like to lose, and reminding myself of these feelings before getting on the floor to kind of help me understand that it's life, right? It's something that, we all grew up playing. And, as you're a professional, it's a ritual. You're constantly playing the games. You're constantly going to practice. It's something that you do all the time. So the confidence you should have in that, it should be pretty high. And so I do a lot of meditating and just visualizing myself in different situations. And hopefully that leads to the game.
And what about pregame rituals?
Honestly, I listen to my music. I'll watch, a couple of Kobe highlights and things like that. And then kind of just let my mind be free. I don't like to overthink anything. I don't like to really key in on certain percentages and things like that. I like to go in there and just be free and be myself and get lost in the vibe and the moments of, how the gym is and things like that, and let the game come to me.
Well, I love that you say, repetition and practice and being ready before the big moment. As we sit here in, Golden State Warriors practice facility, I know there's a guy named Steph Curry that's gotten up a lot of shots here, so it's no question that he's a really good shooter in games. So thank you for sharing that you don't just arrive to a game, whether it's softball, basketball, whatever sport you're playing, it takes a lot of time behind the scenes. So our next topic is confidence and finding your voice. So this first question is for you, Natasha. You won a WNBA championship in 2019 and then chose to forego the 2020 WNBA season to fight for racial justice. For someone watching today, did you learn to use your voice, lead the charge, and stand up for you believe in? How did you have the courage to do all that after coming off the height, the pinnacle of your career with the championship?
Yeah, so it was like one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. Coming off a championship year, this is my career, this is my livelihood, this is how I provide for my family. So it was a really, really big decision. But it's one that I understood for me individually as a person this affected, all of us. But for me, I felt the best way to approach it is always to be impactful, is to be present. And so I wanted to be on the front lines. I wanted to be in the rooms. I know we were in a pandemic, which, hindered that a lot of times, but I was able to do some really good work this summer because I was able to give 100% myself, and just understanding me as a person that I couldn't give 100% on the court and 100% in the community. I wanted to be able to be, 2 feet in with the social reform and social justice. But for the 3 women that are on this panel as well, everyone does it differently. And I'm so proud of what they were able to do and accomplish in the Wnba. And it's truly, truly beautiful that regardless of me sitting out or them playing for the purpose, we were able to get some big things done this year. So no way is a right way. It's really just individually how you feel. And I just really trusted in God's journey for my life and my career. And it's not always easy to find your voice, but especially in the W, it's the blueprint for us. It's who we are. It's what we do. And so in 2015, when I was drafted into the W, I learned that real quick. You're surrounded by powerful, intelligent, and just I usually say badass, but I'm sorry to all the middle school. I'm sorry, parents, but we have a lot of powerful women in our league. So it's easy to fall into your voice and into your power because you're seeing it firsthand every day when you walk into your locker room, every day when opposing teams come in and you meet these women. So it's truly, truly a blessing that I was able to find my voice because of the W.
And I think I speak for everyone and I say, thank you. And that's one of the things when I think everyone around the world, not just the United States, hears your name. It's everything that you've done, this year. And we're not where we want to be by any means, but by you having the courage to step away from your favorite, what you love and who you are to make a bigger stand is just incredible. And I think most people today saw what Steph Curry said in his Instagram post. I don't know if you guys did, but he said, no league was more essential to the social justice movement in 2020 than the WNBA. Read it again. Thank you to all the women and girls in sport who continue to demand more and do more for Black lives and Black culture. So thank you, not just Natasha, but, all 4 of you here for leading the march and being the faces. And, sometimes in games, it's all the movements that you guys did, probably wasn't easy for you, but you have so many people watching, and just thank you for everything you did. And I don't know if Asia or Kelsey or Jewell, you want to piggyback there, but I think your courageousness this year is just amazing. So thank you. And given it's Black History Month as well here today, I think we all need to acknowledge again that to continue the momentum, and you helped create a lot of change in 2020. Moving on, our next question, Asia, from I guess standing up to standing tall, we'll segue here to you. You talked about having self-esteem issues when you were a teenager, due to being tall and lanky, and I think you also said having some freckles. But what words of wisdom would you give to those that feel insecure in some way, and explain how ultimately those things can actually become your strengths?
Yeah. I would just have to say my biggest thing was just understanding who I was, knowing that I am gifted. I am a gift from God. I am just who I am, and I can't help if I'm tall, lanky, skinny, with a big head. That's just me. That's who I am, and it's either you're gonna like it or I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, once I kind of came within myself and understood that I just love who I am, and as I grew taller, I loved myself even more. It got more expensive, but I still I love myself even more because I'm I'm unique in my own way, and I think I kind of just used that as I got older, as I started to fall in love with basketball and just sports in general. I just started to gravitate with people that love the same thing that I love and love me for who I am. And in life, you're gonna sacrifice a lot, and a lot of people are going to come and go in your life, but the ones that you hold near and dear to your heart that loves you for you are the ones that you need in your corner always. And I think that's how I just used it as a strength is, I take the people that love me for who I am, and I go hard for them no matter what, and I know they'll do the same for me. So it's okay to kind of going through a stage. Your glow up is coming soon, I promise. Still waiting on mine, but it's gonna come soon, and the best is yet to come.
And I think we can all say, like, being 6'4" is a great asset to have in basketball. So you might not have realized, when you're in 6th grade and you're the tallest girl in the class, that you're actually going to be a 2020 WNBA MVP. And a lot of that does help, with your height and given your character and work ethic. I think everyone needs to realize whatever it is at the time you think might be what's holding you back might actually be what will let you fly. So thank you for sharing with that. And along those same lines, Jewell, you said in an interview, to grow as a person, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be able to open up yourself and tell your story so that others can open up and tell their story. How important is it for people to turn perceived weakness into power?
I think it's very important. It's also very hard to do that because you're opening, yourself to the world. You open it yourself to people that you may or may not know, but in that you can build confidence in that, because sometimes when you share your story, you find out that the other person across from you has the same story or can connect. And I think we've all learned in this pandemic, people need people. And to do that, you need to be able to communicate and open yourself to people. And so being able to share your stories, it's one way to learn. It's one way to educate. It's one way to really build a bond that we need as humans. And so to just open up and say, hey, I'm afraid of heights, or I'm afraid to read in public, or things like that, even the smallest things make a big difference. And, it really makes it a lot easier to connect with people when you do that.
I love that you're talking about connecting with people. I think we all would say we'd lose our minds during COVID being indoor if we weren't able to connect. But can you share a little bit how important it is for women to support women? I think so many times, whether it's in the workplace or sports, we, think that we're competing with each other when really we need to be the ones that are pulling each other up to be better and do better.
Yeah, 100%. It's a lot of times we always get a lot of outsiders, a lot of people always bashing on us, and so for us to do it in our communities, it's kind of foolish. We need to build each other up, and it's okay to, bring people up. Everyone can eat. There's enough food for everybody, right? And so there's no need to say, oh, I'm here, I don't want to help you because I'm already here, and if I lose this, then I won't be where I'm at. There's plenty. That's something that we also need to realize too. There's a lot. We can all grow together, and we don't need to compete all the time. We can compete on the basketball court, but beyond that, we all have the same purpose. We're all human. We all need each other. So understanding that can help us really grow and push the limits and push where we need to go further.
Absolutely. Well said. So Kelsey, in high school, you were a gym rat, and I've heard that you still are. Would you say it's that same work ethic and drive that fuels your success now? And again, I know we've talked about Steph Curry with shooting and work ethic, but how important is it for you that you're putting in the time, especially as going to be a young one on a team? And how do you gain respect on a team that has veterans?
Yeah, I definitely think work ethic, like Jewell kind of touched on it, preparation is super key. You can't just show up and that works like once every blue moon, but like for the most part, you really have to, be in shape, be prepared, know the offense specifically for basketball or whatever you're doing. I think you earn respect by being consistent. I think you earn respect to your peers by showing up every day. And it's not even just like performing, even though that is a big part of it. I think it's being a consistent person, like a consistent teammate, and having kind of a steady demeanor, like you don't take things out of proportion. You're not dramatic. You don't escalate situations. You're a positive energy, and you give that same effort and intensity every time you step on the court. And I think that for me, that's when I respect people a lot, when they show up and they really take pride in what they do. And so I think that when I try to earn respect, I'm not asking for respect. I'm going to earn it, and I'm going to earn it by being consistent in how I live my life.
I love that. And I think that's something too for everyone listening. We've all been in locker rooms or gyms where someone steps through the door and you don't know who they're going to be that day. Whether you've had a bad day or a breakup, whatever. I think as human beings, we always value consistency, and especially in those end of game situations, who do you want next to you battling at the end of the game? So thanks for saying consistency, because I agree that's one of the most important things, whether it's a friend, relationship, teammate. That's amazing. So also you tore your Achilles. So I tore my left Achilles as well. I think some of the best players do, right? But anyway, so how has it been for you? I think a lot of people are dealing with injuries. What does it mean for you to battle back, and how do you do that?
Honestly, this injury will be the best thing that's ever happened to my career. I've gotten an opportunity to like take a step back, gain some perspective, understand what's important in life, and be present. I think before I was so caught up in like, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? This, that. And it's tough, you know, with the travel schedule that we have. And then a lot of times, you know, we play our WNBA season and then we go play overseas and we really don't get a chance to like decompress. So this injury like physically forced me to lay in my bed and like just kind of change my perspective and be present and be super grateful for the little things. Like I never appreciated walking upstairs or going to the bathroom on my own, like these things that, and it's humbling, it really is. And so I think, you know, this process has been very tough, but I'm super grateful for it and come out better. Well, hopefully we start camp tomorrow, so we'll find out.
I have a good feeling, or I'm sure you remember too, non-weight bearing. You go to Starbucks to get a coffee and realize you have to crutch out so you can't drink your coffee. So when a lot is taken away from you, you do have a sense of gratitude.
Oh, trust me, I like peed on myself a couple times because I couldn't make it to the bathroom in time. Like I didn't want any help. There's just a lot of things, but we're through that. We're through that now, so it's good. We're all good.
So our next,
thanks for me, Asia.
yeah, thanks for being honest. We really appreciate how authentic you are. So our next category is charting a new path for the next generation. So starting with you, Asia, like we said before, I know you've been asked this question hundreds of times since even last month on MLK Day. But at the University of South Carolina, they revealed a statue of you. And there's a quote that made rounds that said, "My grandmother couldn't even walk on this campus. She had to walk around it. Now a statue stands on the very ground she cannot walk on." So my question to you is, how has the WNBA in basketball offered you this platform to not only change the community, but change the world?
The WNBA, it's a special league for sure. I think just how we all come together and unify and just in exactly what we want and what we believe in, and we don't step down for anyone or anybody. And it's kind of helped me in a way because it allows me to use my platform to be a voice for the voiceless. Like that's what we were constantly saying in the Wubble, was just like, we have a huge platform to play on. Let's get these people some research. Let's teach them something about the life that some of us live and see every single day and go through. So I think just using my platform in that way to help me just expand people's minds as to what I go through as a Black woman, I think it's kind of helpful for our fan base, for the young generation, because I truly believe in, if you see her, you can be her. And that's, the WNBA allows me to do that. The WNBA gives me a platform to play, so that young girl in the South that has no idea how she's going to get out can turn on that ESPN and watch 10 elite women run up and down a court and be perfect at what they do. And I think that's something special. And it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart because, I mean, like I said in my speech, like, it's different growing up in the South. Like, it's, you know, you see a different look of a lot of different things because they don't like people that look like me. And so for my school to do this in such a big, grand way of a statue, it's definitely, like KP, it's humbling to me, and just continue to use my platform in a positive way.
I can't imagine standing in front of your own statue and knowing,
it's weird.
And knowing what it means, like knowing what it means when people look at that statue. It's incredible.
It's crazy. When people send selfies, it still doesn't seem real. Like, I'm just like, wait, that's me? Because normally when people get a statue, it's either they're dead or they're a little old, so no one can really like enjoy it. And here I am, like a little girl's taking a selfie, and I'm like, this is amazing. So yeah, it's something special.
You should be so proud of yourself. I'm sure your family is just beaming.
Oh yeah, my parents like camp out by it. They're like probably sleeping on it right now.
So we have some pre-submitted Q&As by our audience members here today. So this first question is from Ashlyn. She's from Saratoga, and it's actually to you, Asia. And if you were not a WNBA player, what profession would you be doing and why?
I'm feeling actress. I feel like I give off actress vibes. And yeah, like I just love the feel of it. I feel like it's a different lifestyle. I don't know if I'll remember lines because I can barely remember plays, but like something like a little cameo where I can just like get in. I feel like that's my life. Hollywood. So I think that's what I would be doing if I wasn't dribbling basketball or being a sleep expert. That's me.
Well, you can both. I mean, in your next thing, we'll see you on the big screen. All right, this one, Kelsey. What coach has made the biggest impact on your career and why?
Oh, that's such a tough question. I've been so blessed to have so many different coaches. I have a tie. I would say my high school coach and my college coach. My high school coach really helped me, develop as a woman and as a person, and built a ton of character in those 4 years and pushed me. And then my college coach dropped me on a freeway, gave me the green light, and said, "Don't look back." So I think it was like a combo of those two people just empowering me in different ways, men and women. But I said both of them, I'm super grateful. I wouldn't be here without them.
Well, Terry Bamford, if you're listening out there, you should be really proud. I love it. So that question was actually submitted from Macy. She's from just around the corner here in Turlock. So Jewell, this question's coming from Leilani from Modesto. Who is the best teammate you've ever had and why?
That's a hard one for me, honestly, because I've been so spoiled to be in Seattle with such great teammates. I think for me, coming into my rookie year and having Sue basically pick me up my first day from the airport and mentor me, it's kind of hard not to say Sue. She really embraces what it is to be a professional off and on the court. And she's been such an amazing teammate, such a great friend. And it's hard to have that when you're first coming in as a rookie into a league where it's a little scary. And all she did was embrace me and help me out. So I have to say Sue.
I had a feeling you might say that. So this next question is from Niati from Saratoga. It's for Natasha. And how do you deal with days where your mental health isn't at its best? What do you think are the next steps we as kids can take to start fighting for equal pay, equal rights, and most importantly, respect?
Whew, this question, girl. All right, let's start. Dang. First question. All right, repeat it one more time for me.
For the third time, here we go. How do you deal with days where your mental health isn't at its best?
There you go. Stop. Boom. Part one. Mental health. Mental health is extremely, extremely important. You heard Jewell talk about how she meditates and takes time out of her day, whether it's during the day, before games, whatever. I do something similar. We actually have a sports psych with the Washington Mystics, and I fought him for 3 years. I was like, no, I can do this by myself. Like, I'm such a competitor. Like, I got this. I can figure out my emotions and all of this. I can do it by myself. And I failed miserably. And I got to a point where I was like so broken as just a person that I needed him. And so I reached out. That vulnerability is strength. Being able to ask for help, that's strength. And so it changed not only my career, but my life. Just to be able to be present, like Kelsey said, every day, to be able to take time out in the morning and meditate and just take some time to be mindful and to get in tune with my emotions, understanding that, whatever feelings I'm feeling, they're valid, but how do I move forward from them, whether they're good or bad? The same with, my career. Not every day is going to be a good day, especially as a point guard leading a team. There's going to be days that are really, really hard. But I really do depend on my mindfulness and taking care of myself mentally, physically, and emotionally. So to all the kids out there, whatever you're feeling, it's valid, but having the strength to ask for help, that's important because there's a lot of good people out here that will care for you, that will love you, that will listen to you, and that will help you along the way. Part two, how do you as kids help with equal pay, equity, and what was the last part? Respect. It's something that we're still fighting for now, especially in our league as W players, where I think all of us, I can't speak for all of us, but I would think that we all want to leave this league better than what we found it. And the OGs before us, they did the same. And so understanding the power that you have, even as a young kid, understanding the power of your voice, understanding the power of a community and gathering together, like Asia said. Our league is so beautiful because everyone has a different journey. Everyone came from a different walk of life, but at the end of the day, we find a common ground to stand on together, and we do it unified. And that's why you see the W making so many changes, whether it's, at home, socially, whatever it may be. So continue to fight for what you believe in. Don't be afraid to speak up. Understand that there are people out there that feel the same way as you. You just need to find them, and there's power in numbers. So that was a really tough question. I love you for it. I hope I answered your question to the best of my ability, but dang, that was a good question, girl.
13 years old. So thanks for taking the time.
The fact that you're already asking that question at 13 years old, you're already on the right path. That's a beautiful thing, that you are already understanding that you do have power and that you do have the power to change things. So shout out to you.
And Natasha, you once said your age does not define how much weight your voice holds. So I think that's good for our young people to hear as well. So thank you for your thoughts there. So you guys, our time is over to switch up to what's next, but I can't thank you all enough for taking the time to be here today. You're not going anywhere quite yet, but I think you are relocating to go on to our clinic. And Natasha, you're going to hang tight here. But to our viewers, I hope you guys realize the faces and the words that you're seeing and hearing today are women that have done it all at every single level. But not only are they excellent basketball players, but they're using their voice, using their platform, and just being great humans in the world. So thank you all for, like I said, being here